Hey there YouTube, this is KServer87 again. Just came in with an update. Just went to the Wisconsin Regionals for February the 24th. And I took my Slushy Poseidra Lancer deck. And I'm going to give you a report and an updated list on it. And first, to let you know exactly how I did, that is part of what I got. I top 8'd. So I got this awesome Fire Fist mat, which looks amazing, and it's mine, and I'm keeping it. But onto the deck list. Obviously you have your Frog core, you have 3 Swap Frog, 3 Dupe, 2 Ronin. I run 3. I've been enjoying 3. It's been a lot easier to actually use Poseidra and make more Xyz with 3 instead of 2. Then 2 Poison Draw Frog. Your main Frog engine, of course. You've heard me explain this many times. Poison Draw Frog goes to the grave. Dupe Frog goes to the grave to fuel your Ronin totems, to fuel your XYZs. Dupe Frogs and Poison Draw Frogs will add to your Sea Lancer to draw and search frogs respectively. And then Swap Frog is the thing that gets them all in there. We have our 3 mandatory Sea Lancer. You've heard me explain this as well. It's the thing that attaches all your banished fish and aqua and sea serpents to itself, gains attack, and then it's your main recycling and advantage engine. It's like you use all your frogs, you put a Lancer, you equip a Lancer, and then you let Lancer die a few times, and then your frogs get reset, and you get advantage while doing that. 3 Poseidra. And just in case you guys don't know what Poseidra does, you can contribute 3 level 3 or lower water monsters to special summon them for your hand or graveyard. And basically, when you do that, you giant Trunade the field, and then if you send 3 or more back to either player's hands, it's yours too. Your opponent's monsters lose 300 attack for every card sent. So if you send 3 or more, you can reduce all their monsters by 900 or more. But it's useful. It's really useful for that giant Trunade effect. But mostly, it's used in tandem with 3 Slushy, which I painted mine to look like dittos. But Slushy is that if you get all 3 Slushies in between your graveyard and your banish zone, you can banish one from your graveyard to target a level 5 or higher Sea Serpent, Poseidra, and special summon it. You can only do that once per turn. Basically, it's just reviving a 2800 beater over and over again, and then smacking down Lancer, recycling your Slushies, because they're aqua, just like the frogs, and then basically you just keep getting Poseidras. And what I'm sad to see go out of the build is 2 Tour Guides and a Sangan. Obviously, Tour Guides. Tour Guide can be used for the Frog Leviero TK, although I'm not going to be running it as soon as Sangan's banned. But Sangan was one of your searchers. You go Tour Guide into Sangan a bunch to either search Sea Lancer or Swap Frog or any of the other frogs you need. At the time, usually it was just those 2 though, but it is a major consistency hit without Sangan in there. So I was glad I was able to do well while using the good version of the deck before it got gone. At least until Tachyon Galaxy, and then we'll have another crazy version of the build. To complete all the monsters, I had 1 Gorse. Spells, I had 3 MSTs. Felt like I needed 3, just because a lot of people are like Dino Rabbit was main macro. A lot of people are siding in or maining like things to stop graveyard effects like Soul Drain and stuff like that. So I felt like 3 was necessary. And the fact that Fire Fists are running around, even though I didn't face one, so Tenki, stop tanking. One thing that I have been trying out recently again is creature swap, and it came in very handy today. Able to swap opponents' Zen mains and stuff like that, as long as I can control the field while giving them, an attack position, Ronin, or an attack position like Duprog or something like that. It's actually very good. Not sure if I'm keeping them past Tachyon, but for right now, they're actually pretty good. One Dark Hole, one Monster Reborn, one Heavy Storm, staples, for obvious reasons. Onto my trap lineup. 2 Torrential, 2 Compulse, 2 Bottomless, 2 Fiendish Chain, and 2 Mirror Force. And that's 10 traps, but it actually works really well. The trap lineup itself was actually extremely helpful, able to stop a lot of things that normally I wouldn't be able to without these in here. So I cited the warnings only because I felt like the life point payment was dropping me too low. Because a lot of times I would let myself get too low because my field would be empty a lot. So I was just like side warnings, and for the games I really need them. So that's the main deck. The extra deck, if I can get it over here, is 3 Gachi Gentetsu, 2 Daigusto Phoenix, 2 Shining Elf. I did make it a couple times today, but it wasn't very helpful when I got it out, so I'm probably going to go down to 1, although I don't need the room right now, so it's just 2, just because I can. And 2 number 96 Dark Mist to complete my rank 2 suite inside my extra deck in order to have all my options available to me. For my rank 3s, I have 1 Leviair to do the the Swap Frog Daigusto Phoenix OTK, where you go Swap Frog with a Ronin, Swap Frog milling a Swap Frog, banish the Swap Frog for Ronin, summon the Leviair, bring out the Swap Frog, and then you have 2 level 2s on the field already, and then Ronin and food in the graveyard, and you just go Daigusto Phoenix, target Leviair, Daigusto Phoenix, target itself, plus any extra if you have more. 1 Wind Up Zen Mains, 1 Leviathan Dragon, and then 1 Acid Golem, just because I run plenty of tributes to get it out of the way. I have 1 rank 5 and I have Tyrus, which I actually used today with 2 Sea Lancers, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting rid of it, because I keep having opportunities to actually make Tyrus where it's actually very beneficial, and in fact won me a game against Merlantians. And then my 1 rank 7 for now is Mermail Abyssgaios. This guy is awesome. I wish I had a big eye, but big eye is $70 right now, so we'll hold off on that for now. But Abyssgaios is a good rank 7 for me now. Onto the side deck, I ran 2 End of Anubis to stop things like Atlanteans, any other graveyard-based decks, Inzectors, even though I didn't see any. Didn't really see it when I sided in against Atlanteans, except for once when I was already winning, so there's that. I'm going to bump it up to 3, I think, later. Maxi, I sided against the couple times I did windups, never saw it, never really needed it, so I'm probably going to be removing them now that windups is dead. 2 Soul Takers, kind of use them against just, things with decks that would have like problematic monsters that I need to get rid of. I was kind of expecting to face agents and worried about Christia just, stopping everything I do. So Soul Taker to get rid of that, Soul Taker to get rid of Fossil Dino, Soul Taker to get rid of things that missed the timing, like Light Pulsar Dragon, which I did actually end up using. 2 Mind Crush. It was kind of helpful. I just figured a lot of the main decks that are topping are searching, So obviously, being able to mind crush and then see what's in your opponent's hand is a pretty invaluable asset. 2 warnings, like I said, I sided it, and since it's going down to 1, I may put it back in the main alongside with the Solemn. I'm not really sure. We'll see about that. When I have an updated build, I'll show you guys. 2 Dust Tornadoes, probably going to 3 just because everyone was siding macro against me. Everyone was siding Soldier Rain, and just I had a lot of targets I needed to be killing. And then 2 Goes in Match, removing now that Windups is dead, because otherwise the deck was very mono attribute, and it was I never sided it in. And then 1 Needle Ceiling. I sided against a couple of matchups, never saw it, can't really tell you if it's working or not. We'll see if I keep it. That's the deck. That's the full deck and the side deck. Really, the main deck, I'm actually pretty comfortable with. I had no problems with it. I was pretty confident going in the day, and obviously it turned out pretty well. I really have no qualms about it now, just, besides Sangan being banned. But I can't really control that, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. My side deck really was... I did a lot of things I shouldn't have, but the few things I used did work, and everything else probably needs to be gutted and restructured for the sort of new format coming up. But we'll see. In terms of my ranking, I snuck in at 8th place with a 7-2 rating in our 9-round tournament of 296 people. Yeah. 4 people short of going into like top 42 invites. They had 36, I think. But round 1, I faced Darkwold and won. Round 2, I faced Hazy Kings, which I saw that guy later, and saw the Darkwold guy later. And Darkwold was X1, and Hazy Kings was X2. And I faced the Hazy Kings guy, and he was actually a pretty awesome guy. And I won against him. Round 3, I faced a wind-up deck that wasn't really drawing that many monsters, but was drawing a buttload of traps. And then basically the games took forever to finally get through there, but I won that one. Round 4, I faced the standard Undyne build of Merlantians, and I lost. Round 5, I faced against another Merlantians, and I won. It was the Billy Break build that had basically all the rank 7s. Round 6, I faced another Wind-Ups and got Shockmaster looped twice and calling monsters even when he didn't know my deck. And he hit my Sangans and Dupe Frogs, and I couldn't really do anything without searching. So I lost that one. Round 7, I faced against Merlantians again. And I won against that one. Round 8, I faced against Chaos Dragons, and then beat him in a hard 3-point game. Almost thought I wasn't going to make that one. And then round 9, I faced a very, very good 2 games with 6 Samurais, and he was actually a pretty good guy, even though we both admitted we hated each other's decks. But it was actually a good duel, and I had a lot of fun with that one. Once I faced against once I finished round 9, I was like, oh, well, I'm X2. That means I at least got my invite. And then I go to see my score, and I'm at 8th, and I kind of freak out a little bit, because not only this is my first ever regional invite, considering how many regionals I've been to, this is my first top 8. I've never done it before. So to do both at the same time is kind of a little crazy, and I kind of like it. But I went to the top 8, and they were only doing basically everyone faced in top 8 to a cut to top 4, because top 4 prizes were all the same. They weren't going to go any further than that. So and because I was 8th, I had to face the guy who was undefeated through the tournament, running the Billy Break Merlantian build. And basically it sums down to Big Eye is awesome, and he kept stealing all my stuff, including a 5 equipped Lancer, which now I'm never going to equip with 5 against mermails, because now I've learned my lesson. But that was that. Like I said, I'm probably going to put the deck aside because of the lack of Sengen. It hurts the consistency just a little bit. And I've got a few months to play around until Tachyon, when we get Tidal and when we get Atlantean Tridon, which is going to make this deck change and be really nutty. But I will give you an update on that later. This is Chaos Reaper 87 out.